Free Fire is directed by Ben Wheatley, and this movie takes place in the 1970s, and it tells the story of two gangs who meet in a deserted warehouse for an arms deal that goes horribly wrong when this deal turns into a shootout and a game of survival. This film is produced by one of my favorite working production companies, A24, which is the same production company that makes quality films like Green Room, Swiss Army Man, The Lobster, and of course last year's Best Picture winner, Moonlight. I'm sure some of my longtime subscribers know that I'm a pretty big fan of this production company. Like, I'd say how some people get excited for Pixar films, and any movie that Pixar slaps their name on, they're gonna go see it. I'm that way with A24. If they're producing a film, I'm gonna try my hardest to go watch that movie. So needless to say, I was really looking forward to this film. However, Free Fire may not be A24's best movie, it's definitely not their worst. One of the reasons I was looking forward to this film is it has an incredibly talented cast with names like Armie Hammer, Cillian Murphy, Brie Larson, Sharlto Copley, and Jack Reynor. All just incredibly talented actors. And without a doubt, these actors were this film's saving grace. When you have really talented actors and actresses, they should be able to take any movie that they're in and just make it better by being on screen. That's why these people are as successful as they are. But unfortunately, that does bring me to my first problem with Free Fire. This film is an action comedy. The first thing that it's trying to do is get you to laugh while also delivering on the fun, high-octane just craziness. But the problem is, after a certain point in this film, it just hits an absolute lull where nothing happens. All these people that are telling these jokes and these quips in the first half of this movie, when they reach a certain point where they're all sitting there, crawling around, bleeding out on the verge of death, yeah, nobody's making jokes anymore. So for the longest time, you have people just sitting there doing this. That paired with the fact that whenever these characters actually get up from their cover and try to run and get to a destination, and all the characters start shooting at them, nobody hits anything besides a shoulder or maybe a leg, and none of these wounds are fatal, so everyone's been shot, but they're all just kind of laying there just waiting to bleed out. And that really tanks the suspense in this film, because the whole point is that they're not supposed to be going anywhere. They want to stay exactly where they're at, so when they get up and they have the risk of being shot. But that doesn't help when the people shooting at them have the worst aim in cinematic history. And what else is frustrating is they would bring in other characters who weren't initially in on this gunfight and bring them in, and you're like, oh, I wonder how they're gonna, okay, they're dead now. Oh, that's terrific. So it seems as if the only characters that the main people can actually kill are supporting characters that you don't really know anything about. But I can get past all of that. I could still totally enjoy this film. However, the biggest problem with this film, without a doubt, was its directing. I've personally never seen any of Ben Wheatley's other films, so I didn't really know what his style was going into this movie, but he really didn't do anything right as far as directing goes. This is an action comedy, right? Well, sorry to break it to you, but this guy does not know how to direct action or comedy. Over half of these shots where people are actually firing at each other, it's close-up, handheld camera, so you can't really decipher not only where these characters are in relation to each other, or who's firing at who. And as far as the direction of the comedy goes, it's pretty non-existent. A lot of the physical jokes in this movie fall flat because the director just doesn't know how to frame comedy well. This director pretty much relies on just pointing the camera at the actors, and he's just like, okay, say your lines, but make it funny. And for a while that does actually work, because as I said, you have these actors and these actresses that are able to deliver these lines very well and make it inherently funny. But that does wear off after a while when we have to depend on the physical jokes, because they're just not there. As far as performances go, Sharlto Copley stole the entire movie for me. He is so damn funny throughout this entire film. Armie Hammer did a really good job as well. Him and Sharlto Copley have some good scenes of banter between the two of them that is just really funny stuff. However, I was actually pretty disappointed with Brie Larson's character. As far as performances go, she does fine. It's just that her character is acting a certain way, and I thought they were going to go a certain direction with the way her character was evolving. But they don't really go that avenue. Instead, they do a totally different thing, which just made me question the way she was acting prior in the film. And I really felt as if they were misleading the audience, but not really in a good way, because the thing that they're leading up to doesn't really evolve into anything. It's very hard to explain, and if you have seen the movie, I hope you know what I'm talking about. Overall, Free Fire is a mostly funny and mostly entertaining experience. But unfortunately, towards the end of the film, it just frankly runs out of steam. I've got to say I was disappointed with this film because I have grown to expect more from A24. As I said at the beginning, this isn't a terrible film, it's just not as great as it should have been. So did you guys see Free Fire? What did you think about it? Leave your thoughts and opinions down below. And as always guys, thank you so much for watching today. I hope you liked today's video, and if you did, click on the link down below and subscribe to my channel for more movie reviews, movie related things. Guys, thank you so much for watching, and see you next time.